Welcome back, everyone, to LCS Challengers. Finally, Cubby, finally. When we're on the break, I got a little rub on my head, and finally it has happened. We're getting to a game 3. That's right, right here. Sometimes right here, but like usually the front is more bald.
I see some shine in the front too. I like that. That's nice. That's real nice.
Yeah. Courtesy of you, of course. But now your wish has come true. Going to game 3, Cubby.
We are. Honestly, I'm excited to see game 3 in this series. I think each team played out a clean early game, and hopefully we can get our wish in game 3. It can be kind of close, you know, a little bit of a back and forth. We've had about a one-sided game so far in Challengers League, which, given some of the changes in the new season, it's a lot easier to slingshot yourself from mid-game, like into ending the game. Or I should say, getting a big lead. I think ending is a wee bit more difficult in the new season, but early season, not surprised to see some games get out of hand here. But yeah, maybe we see a close one in game 3. I mean, each team proves they can close the game out cleanly, and excited to see what happens coming up here.
Yeah, and that was the big thing about that game too. Yeah, the ending was a little bit slow, but it was just Supernova playing it rather on the safe side. They had a good comp for sieging. I mean, you have a lot of long range, a lot of wave clears, so they weren't that hard pressed to go for it, but nonetheless, it gets them a win in game number 2. I do want to pull up the draft so we can take a look at what's going to be banned in this upcoming one. Again, this is Fearless Draft. The champion your team plays is banned for your team specifically. So here are the bans right now.
Honestly, no Smolder for Supernova is interesting. Also, Nautilus and Vi being off the table. I've like started to find some champs that I actually think matter in Fearless. Like, sometimes just having a point-and-click R-engage between Naut and Vi is good. Like, I actually am kind of advising for teams not to pick them in the same draft, which I think is a really interesting wrinkle in Fearless. Because then, like, if you pick a Zeri in a game or a Callista in a later game, well, how do you deal with them? Like, you got to find a different way, right?
Yeah. And as those champions are taken off the map right now, I'm curious if we're going to see at least anything different when the draft actually does come up. I have seen some of the bans that are coming through. They've been very bot lane focused, with like Ashe being taken away, or just taking away something like the Orianna, something that enables another pick like the Nocturne that we had seen earlier.
Yeah, I'm interested to see as well. I think Nock Ori is going to be denied again in this next game.
Yeah.
I expect to see an Ori ban. And, you know, funnily enough, Keel cannot continue the Fanghorn Forest trend, you know? It's, the Ivern and Maokai is it. I feel like Rumble lit the Maokai on fire and took away the entire Fanghorn Forest, you know?
Actually, what else has Keel been playing on the season?
Well, you know, it's Keel. He's played some Vi, and then he has a game of Gragas, Viego, and Poppy. So
yeah.
It's been flexible. There are some options, but excited to get in the last draft and see, you know, kind of how we can wrap things up today. I think these are two of the teams that should be top of the table. If TLC play the way they did in that game 1, I would say they're top of the table despite their record. And honestly, for TLC, like moving into the second half, this is the last week of the first half of our season in Challengers League. I think a win against Supernova would be another big momentum builder for them moving forward in this season.
Yeah, most definitely, because once we go past this week, there's only going to be 4 more weeks after that. It is a single round robin, so every match really does matter so much. I mean, for both of these squads. To Supernova's credit, they've had a phenomenal start on the season. It's really Team Liquid who are trying to show up and really show that they have much more to offer. That being said, though, I do want to say some of their worst opponents are now out of the way. They already have gone against FlyQuest. You have Supernova that you're going against right now. So if Supernova could take this win, it really could mean a lot for them, especially morale-wise, heading into the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that it's important to beat the quality opponents. It is a singular round robin this time around. So, yeah, I mean, if that's the case, like, you don't get to face them again until playoffs. And sometimes, you know, notching that win, you only get to face, you know, some of the players, or every team once, right? So if you're able to take down a team that's high up in standings, that's big. I mean, even like Wildcard Lit. I mean, Lit's a team that they're new to the league, and looking at that team, I mean, it was a team that a lot of people expected to potentially be relegated. A win against Wildcard, another team that is a lot of people looked at the beginning of the season like, hey, this team might be in relegations. Like, I think those are really good to pick up. Like, that's really big as the season moves on. So, curious to see what happens.
All right, Team Liquid Honda Challengers are going to be on the blue side as we head into draft. One final time for the day. Gubby, Been a
Game
fun
7.
ride. I'm glad to hop in with you for this final series.
Yeah. I get to live the CSGO dream of the best of 7 final, you know?
Yeah. We've been having a good time with it. I know you enjoy your bald men that you get to have as your co-casters for the day, of course.
Yes, it's yeah. I appreciate that we can still have that joke, you know, going between you and Kangas. I like that. You know, I thought we beat that last year.
Oh.
I'm glad that we're still bringing it back.
No, it's more than just Kangas is bald. I'm bald, and us bald brothers love you, Cubby.
I love you guys too. Let's get into the last game. No Rumble available for Supernova. Gonna continue to deny that from Jenkins, and then we did highlight the Nocturne Ori. Probably not a combo that's getting through. Orianna, of course, taken away because there is no Nico available at the moment, as there is a bug. So they aren't concerned about the other pairings with Nocturne and Ori. And oh boy, we have a first pick Callista.
First pick Callista always makes me sweat because one of the picks you can't take right away is the Poppy. And Poppy could ruin a Callista's day outright. So we'll see what else gets picked up. It's nice to have the Ashe banned away for the side of TLC specifically, because you won't have to deal with the slow, which is so detrimental for a Callista. But the Lovers Duo is what's going to be locked in on the side of Supernova.
And there's no Nautilus, no Blitz that you can use to kind of break the Xayah Rakan. Usually not. It's a pretty common pick that we see into this. So getting pushed down a little bit. Renata's still a decent champ. It brings a little bit more laning power. And of course is the combo with Callista. So two pretty strong bot lane duos that I know it's Fearless, but sometimes, you know, we get relegated to the older stuff that people are used to playing. We don't see a ton of Xayah Rakan in LCS, but in Fearless, it makes an appearance when everything else is taken away.
So this is going to be a lot of early game power that TLC have gone for. They're adding on Sejuani on top of it. So as you're saying, steadfast presence. Hey, that does so much work, not just for the Callista now, but it can block that Sejuani on top of it. So it's a good go-to if Supernova want to take that Poppy.
I like Poppy and the Sejuani. I think you have the angle to kind of bully it around early. But we could see a top laner. I mean, Faisal, if he wants the Udyr, it's available to him. But no, it's going to be the Aatrox. A bit of a deny yet again from Jenkins. I'd expect to see a Kennen ban, potentially. And I do want to say that if Jenkins wants to get real frisky or roamer, always a chance that you could have an Aurelia. Aurelia into Aatrox. It's a risky matchup, but Sejuani plus Aurelia, you can break Aatrox in that matchup. And so I think banning things like the theme. Yone is something that is a isolated counter to the Aatrox. Pairs really well with Sejuani. I like that ban from Supernova. I think their heads in a similar space.
Yeah, for R3, having the bans that follow immediately after are always nice to try and take away some of those counter picks that can come through from Jenkins. So being well on top of that will be Supernova, but it still does give a counter pick to someone who has a lot of creative picks in the wheelhouse, players such as Jenkins. Final ban is the Cassante.
Yeah, and I mean, that Poppy ban makes sense. Like, I'm looking at a draft like, wow, Poppy would be really good here. Instead, though, it will be taken away. And I also just want to say that for Supernova, I think that this actually says a lot about their team and why I think Faisal fits in well here, too. Faisal oftentimes blinds his champ. Like, this happened a lot on FlyQuest.
Yeah.
Faisal is okay blinding his champs. Faisal is a very strong player in his own isolated regard. He is blinding a champ to open up Shochi's pool a little bit. And I'm curious to see what Shochi ends up going with, as I expect that to be a 5-pick. I also just want to say, I have seen Jenkins play Sejuani. This was something that he has played in Champs queues, so this is a bit of a flex on TL's side as well if they get a really bad jungle matchup and they don't want it. But Aatrox does slam Sej too, so I don't think we see it.
Oh, God, that confused me for a second.
Wukong got buffed.
I thought it was Yubi, but no. Yeah, they did switch it to Wukong. It's just the weird lock-in animation, but Wukong will be the lock-in over on the side of Supernova. What were the buffs, Cub?
They gave him a little bit more bonus AD and range on his Q, especially early on. And then the Nimbus Strike, they reduced the cooldown later on. So it was mostly targeted for Wukong top lane buffs, but for jungle, I mean, it's not bad either, right?
Yeah.
You take him.
Take the full advantage of that. Akali getting picked up by TLC, so Roamer's going to be on that now. One more pick to come out.
What was he for Jenkins?
See, if he still wants to go the AP route, it'd be pretty heavy right there if they do
Jenkins
go for that.
Is a renowned Kled player. And I gotta say, Kled is a good matchup in the Aatrox. Kled is good this game. If he wants to dig deep, it could be the Kled. But no, you get your wish.
Yeah. Yeah, we get the cannon. This is a lot of magic damage, though, that's being picked up by TLC.
It is. I think it's okay, though. It is going to be a little bit magic damage heavy on the top side. And, yeah, I think that Supernova, seeing that, they're like, okay, we want something that can kind of keep the Kennen out. Need some lockdown against the ninjas and Kennen and Akali. And it will not be the Wasandra. It's actually going to be an Annie. So Shochi really digging deep here.
This is definitely going to be a fun one right now.
Interesting.
One of the reasons I was so big on the Kennen and Jenkins picking it is he was the one who really brought Kennen out to the limelight. He's been playing it for oh so long. He was basically considered a one-trick Kennen player for quite a while. He is great at this champion.
He's an unreal Kennen. And I got to say, Supernova's draft, this looks like it was ripped straight out of the beginning of summer last year. You know, this is straight up from 8 months ago. And... they must know, like, they probably know how to play it, and this is kind of what happens in Fearless, right?
Yeah.
Some champs are taken away. You have to go to what you know. Sometimes that's picks that have been played in the past. As Annie is definitely a champ where, because of how straightforward Annie is, you can oftentimes manipulate the map to get a lot of timers going your way. And I want to see if Supernova can do that early on, because it's definitely a team that needs to win early if they want to win this game. Need to make sure that they're engages land and those executes are clean if they want to take down TLC and find that 2-1.
Final game of the day. TLC looking for their second win. Supernova looking to continue their climb on that leaderboard. TLC, it's been a rough start for them. Supernova living up to expectations. TLC trying to match just that. 5-point spread now coming out. Shochi on that Annie. It's very interesting. As we said, he has a very, very wide champion pool. But one thing that also pops out to me is some of the short range that comes out on TLC. Once we get into those team fights, it's not going to be that hard if TLC are engaging for Shochi to find the targets he wants with the Tibbers.
You want a fun fact going into this game, Desirux?
Hit me.
This is the first ever Akali played competitively by Roamer.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm looking at the champ, and it's not on the list. And I got to say, that's very surprising, given how strong Akali has been. So, interested to see what Roamer's got with this pick. Be a new one for him.
Could be. And it's into Shochi once more on the Annie, so... You did say it's straightforward. The moment you see that little swirl on the Annie, the stun is prepped up, and... Always got to give a little bit of respect to that, because it makes it so easy to just get that comet in right after.
Yeah, well, he's going to use that rather well on that creep to make sure that Roamer's going to be a little bit on the back foot. Roamer, I mean, the D-Shield and the Fleet, this should make it a pretty free lane for Roamer to at least get his farm, but of course Annie will have push and pressure.
Taking a look at where the junglers are starting at the moment, as well as the lanes as we get the cool little split view coming out. Pressure coming out from the bot lane of TLC. It's going to be top side starts for both junglers. Should be roaming down bottom immediately after that. Going to be curious to see where the Wukong goes, because we haven't seen a Wukong in quite some time. Always a lot of fun when that hits the map and we get to see just the power of that Cyclone.
Yeah, the Divine Sunder was one of the reasons that Wukong was so good, because, I mean, if you got level 6 Wukong, you're very strong with the Cyclone. And then also then you get Sunder and you're just like freakishly strong from level 6 to level 9 in the mid game. Of course, can go Sundered Sky, but Power Spike is a little bit different there. So we'll see if he can hit it. I know that Wukong is a pick that some junglers do like in Sejuani, because you can kind of get your farm. You have a way to eat the ultimate, and you can't be interrupted too much. It's a handshake that most players can agree on. They feel like they can win both sides, but yeah, curious. I mean, Wukong got some changes. I think that the strengths of this champion still very much the same from when we saw him in many a game in summer. He's still getting some play over in LPL as well, so I think it's good to see. At the moment, I threatened a bot dive here, but this wasn't set up to be a bot dive by TL.
No, this looks like they're going right after Kenvi. Invade onto him. The Gromp's going to be picked up by Kenvi. They called over Roamer at the same time. Shochi's in the location, but be careful. Will go forward. Able to grab that stun. Here comes Spawn on the opposite side. Kenvi's able to flash out, but Spawn will pursue. First blood going over to Spawn. Marksman able to grab another one on the opposite side. Array gets one. Kim Down will grab another, and Array gets underneath the tower. It's two falling for Supernova. TLC able to take the skirmish win.
Honestly, I kind of want to see that one again. A lot happened there. Shochi did start the play, and they found the execute onto the Sejuani, but the damage coming out of the Kalista early on with the Akali rather significant, as Akali, again, early in fights like this, actually really valuable. Another look. They pick the target. They want the double buffs and Keel. I think that with the passive off, this is okay. Double stun's really nice to open up, but it's an exhaust on Rakan versus an ignite on the Renata. And it was a lot to get through what ended up like mattering in terms of taking down Keel, because they did put the Renata W onto the Sejuani. So pretty much had to get through 2 health bars of Sej. The Rip did it all in the back half from the Xayah, but ends up not being very significant. And I will say that Roamer benefited a lot from that play.
You get the Akali going fast as you can. Force Spawn and Kim down as well. Both of them getting a kill apiece. This is a very aggressive bot lane. You draft Kalista and Renata to be aggro AF down there. And for Spawn and Kim down to have kills to continue to try and make plays towards this side of the map. We know how important Dragon stacking has become. It's a good early start for TLC.
And Jenkins just getting a plate on his lonesome in the top side. Did go D-Blade Kennen, so looking to harass the Aatrox with a lot of auto attacks. Of course, Aatrox, a caster brawler in the top side, needs a couple levels to get extra points and Qs, so that cooldown's not brutally long. And bot side, going to try and use the Kalista Renata to make sure this dragon goes in favor of TLC.
Should be able to grab it. There's no level 6 for Shochi.
I don't know,
yet.
they're going to fight.
Same thing for Kenvi, so you don't really have that team fight potential unless you go to pick someone off. Oh, able to steal it. It's going to be Kenvi. Now the fight going through from Supernova, corralling them into the pit. Kim down does not have flash. Array will take him down. Keel goes forward. He has no choice but to go forward because there's no escaping this onslaught from Supernova as TLC will crumble.
I mean, the first fight, it went in TLC's favor, but this one, you're still going up against the Xayah, Rakan, Annie early on. Envy yoinking the dragon is massive, but I feel like TLC are fighting in the power window for Supernova and not really respecting it by starting this dragon. Like, they're being brought low. Keel's almost at half health. They're able to get him down to half health before this fight really breaks out. Kenvi yoinks it through Kalista, Ren plus Smite from TLC. None of it connects as Keel still had a Smite up. Diamond escapes the stun, played that beautifully against Keel. They try to get him in the back half, but not going to be the case. Great rip from Array. Make sure that Spawn falls, Kenvi survives, and everything comes up Supernova.
Now Supernova will be the team to take a kill lead, responding better to a lot of these skirmishy plays. Kill is going to utilize a little bit of that advantage coming out from the top side to grab Void Grubs and try and open up this side of the map for TLC.
This is still really rough for TLC. Like, they don't have a lot of advantages on the map right now. And I will say that, like, Xayah Rakan against this Kalista Renata comp, Xayah is going to be really valuable this game. There's a lot of value that Xayah has in going airborne with her ultimate. I think a lot of it's going to come down to just making sure that they keep Jenkins out of the fight. And if Supernova does that, these fights could be pretty easy for him.
Ooh, Kim down gets a little bit too close. Got to watch out. The back end of the feathers can really bring that damage in, and Spawn will get a taste of that.
Still able to trade it back with the rip. I think the other path that TLC can use to win this game is attack the Annie inside. If they're able to send this Akali that is a little bit ahead early and really hit this Annie inside with like the Akali Sej combo, that at least does give TLC a way to play out the mid game where they should have consistent winning plays on one side of the map.
Roamer's able to at least shove in the wave against Shochi for now, but now that Shochi is level 6, that Tibbers is going to be there. You got to keep a close eye on Shochi. Once he starts roaming out, he has his flash. Tibbers can just ruin any of the side lanes. Now Roamer and Keel attacking in the mid lane. Not too far off is Kenvi, so Shochi a little bit more confident to step up.
Kenvi has nothing to do on the map. He took all of his camps, so he's actually going to walk down and show. They might look to walk into Keel, just given that Kenvi doesn't have a camp to take.
Shochi into the enemy jungle alongside Diamond. There's a ward there, so Keel knows this is coming up. Feels the pressure. Can't start up his red buff just yet. We'll delay that for a little bit later, but Supernova, you're still hanging around this side of the jungle.
Kenvi's going to get real spicy here. So, Rug's taken. Heal. Oh, he gets the bad news. So, yeah, this is all known and spotted. I will say that Roamer did base. I don't know if Roamer needed the base or not, but him basing means that This is Supernova, so Keel cannot contest. You can see Shochi tailing Kenvi, following him right now. Going to be a bot's eye, but red buff for Kenvi is really big because it means that this next Dragon timer coming up, TLC, their fight's going to be a lot weaker on the bot side. Already bot lane advantage for Supernova. So I think that's where Supernova really has their eyes set, that upcoming Dragon spawn.
So we got a minute 30 before that Dragon does come up, and yeah, so far control coming out from Kenvi. Putting in some deep vision as well to set up for this Dragon that they are going to take later. As Faisal takes a good chunk of damage. That's one of the things I really, really do appreciate about Kenvi. When he does play towards his team, he plays a lot towards vision control, putting down wards, denying that vision as well. He's one of the most active junglers when it comes to that state of the game.
Yeah, no, again, I think it's been nice to see Kenvi show some of the growth that he did have in LCS. As he is someone that he's no longer a rookie, right? And we still know that Kenvi has the hands. I want to see Kenvi use this to really get his confidence up and back. As Kim Down's getting engaged upon.
Roamer's over there, so is Kenvi, though, and this should be an easy pickup. Before the Dragon even comes down, Kim Down will be slain.
Yeah, I mean, that's one way to positively use Tibbers, as that's a freebie. And a lot of times, like, when Annie was being played, you would use Tibbers to get a health chunk, force someone back, and, like, play around TP timers to really make sure that you can manipulate the map with Tibbers chunks to get what you wanted. Why not just take a free kill, too? That's one way to open up a Dragon.
This is a lot of pressure in the bottom lane. You can see Spawn has been pushed away from the tower. Getting matched by Jenkins, who's pushing over there in the top lane, but now another plate goes over to Array. The reset's coming out from Supernova. We still got that Dragon timer just ticking away. Dragons on the map.
I would very much prefer to be where Supernova is at right now, as the marksman is ahead, and they're taking objectives. Now, it was a small reset. Shochi won't have Tibbers up for this Dragon fight. And if Roamer does TP back, his Empower TP just came up. He could be decently strong. He doesn't have that Storm Surge or Rocket Belt completed yet. It looks to be a Storm Surge with the items he's got in his inventory, so that would have been a pretty significant completion if he was able to get there, but not the case. Should still go over to Supernova for free.
Dragon started up. Easy prio in both mid and bottom lanes.
Yeah.
As you said, it's for free. Kill instead. Not going to even challenge that. Wants the Void Grubs.
I think it's
the
smart
easiest
to
thing to take away. I mean, again, even if you don't get all the Void Grubs, just denying the other team from getting it.
I like this from Keel too. Okay, I thought he was gonna set up like 2 grubs to take together, because you can kind of manipulate the shields of the grubs to really make sure you're taking this efficiently. Not gonna be the case though. Still able to get it. 6 grub team for TLC, but man, 2 dragons and all these plates bought for this Xayah, who again I think is going to be really efficient in this draft. I know Xayah Rakam was picked early, but Xayah feels really good in pretty much everything that TLC are showing.
Jeez. Look at this top lane, Cubby.
Yeah.
Jenkins a few autos away from grabbing the first turret.
He's gonna brick it. Yeah, he's got the grubs.
Heals over there. Faisal might be fighting for his life right now. First stun comes in. Slicing Maelstrom does its job, and Faisal, oh, so easy it looked for TLC in the top side when Jenkins is dominating this hard.
Now, the first brick did fall bot first, but still, Jenkins will take that. That's really well played and set up by TLC. Faisal trying to fight to make sure that turret doesn't go over to Jenkins. Heal lying in wait, able to make sure that Faisal is down after he burned pretty much everything that he had. And TLC gonna have to do a lot with these 6 grubs to kind of get gold back in their control, because that Xayah is scary down bot, Desirux.
Well, at the very least, you do have Jenkins, who finished his proto belt just now. That's more items on top of it, so now Jenkins can be a little bit more aggressive when it comes to the team play. Slithering on in, dropping the slicing maelstroms. This is going to be the power point for TLC if they're going to find their way into a successful victory.
Well, I guess we got our wish. It's a somewhat close game 3. We're getting there, Desirux.
Slowly but surely.
It's contested. It's not one-sided at this point.
Yeah.
I'd rather be Supernova, but it's close.
If you want it to be more heated, just rub my head once more.
Oh, I mean, I would drive right over there and do that if it wasn't live on broadcast. You're gonna have to take care of that one.
You got a cell phone, man. Come on.
Well, the risk of decreasing our audio quality significantly on this cast and maybe being yelled at from my bosses, we're going to continue with this one. Supernova trying to shift their power towards the top side. You can see the Xayah actually bot, and at the moment, Shochi is trying to catch this wave high, catch it quickly. He's being flanked by Roamer, and Heal is lying in wait.
Stun comes out from Shochi. Roamer feeling good for this attack. Did mention Heal is coming over here as well, trying to flash
really nice.
away. Beautiful by Roamer. Tibbers goes for the hunt, but Kill will body block, and Roamer gets a kill solo bolo against Shochi.
That was beautiful from Roamer, and I'd say for a first Akali game on stage, not half bad. As okay, this is going to get spicy. Faisal is Hexdrinker, very efficient against these three.
Faisal wasn't the best call to go for that teleport slice, and Maelstrom comes down, and the Hexdrinker doesn't mean much when this much damage is in your face.
Roamer even able to get a piece. He stuck around despite being low, and TLC kind of take control of this game off a couple oopsies from Supernova. Shochi tried to catch a wave high when they didn't have control over that side of the map. You can see him trying to set up for that top outer turret. And then Faisal, errant TP. TLC decide to stay. Keel Jenkins, they had to calculate it, take him down. That's another turret going over. They're okay sacking the Rift Herald for that. Rift will be dropped mid, though, as a response, and this should fall as well.
Solo lanes for TLC looking great so far. Roamer gets his against Shochi, and same thing with Jenkins against Faisal. Supernova will play into the mid lane as they bring the grubs, they bring the Rift Herald. Stun going towards Array. Array's got to be careful about the positioning. Envy pops out. TLC going to chase away Supernova.
Roamer was kind of looking to walk down to do something. He does have that wave now that he might be a little bit slow to get in. Shochi and Kenby could look, but Roamer's going to be wiser to it. He has control words, so getting spotted. And TLC, I think, decently happy with that series of events. Able to get a couple kills on people that need them. They do sack the mid-outer turret, but they should be able to take the opposing mid-outer turret pretty easily. So I think everything is okay for I should say TLC. And now, we'll see what happens with this upcoming Dragon. I think that TL wants to contest. And Shochi is no flash. So if I'm TLC, I'm really looking to hunt the Annie going into this play.
It very much looks like it. TLC have already put in deep vision into the jungle of Supernova.
Yeah.
They're setting up around this dragon pit, collecting around the river. Supernova will not be the first ones in there, and now you can feel the sweat on the brow of Supernova because TLC have been slowly gaining a lead, and it's 1.5k right now, Dragon in 5.
Yeah, Supernova forced to kind of walk towards the top side of the map. There is no TP available for Shochi, so it looks to me like Supernova's dropping.
TLC make way for the dragon. Faisal's still behind. Places a ward. Supernova might itch for a fight right here. Faisal's still posturing. Diamond's on the other side of the wall, but it's far too late. Dragon's been taken. Spawn leads the charge alongside Roamer.
If anything, they might have tried to walk Shochi down or Faisal around to stop TLC from going mid right after, but I think Supernova want a little bit of time. They think that they can execute things cleaner if Aatrox is able to get an item. But until then, it's still going to be dropped. So, first Dragon of the game going over to TLC. Denies the soul point from Supernova, and they get mid-outer. They clean that one up finally. And Supernova will just take the top outer for themselves. Overall, things still coming up TLC's way.
See right now that Rod of Ages was completed on Shochi. He has 7 stacks on it. And I believe it was buffed a few patches ago, or this last patch, but nevertheless, it not being a mythic anymore means that Shochi can be quite tanky.
A mythic?
When it comes to, what did I call it?
We don't use that word anymore.
Yeah, not being a mythic anymore.
Wait, what does that mean? What does mythic mean?
I don't know.
Exactly,
it was just there in my mind, and I pulled it out, and I gotta get updated with the patches.
I think you are updated with that. I've chosen to erase that from my memory. A lot of I know the joke right now that Reddit's like, oh, it's Freak season. Thank God it's Freak season because we're out of Mythic era, and the Mythic era was I despise Mythics. I'm so glad they're gone.
Yeah, but I do think it makes Rod of Ages so much more valuable in its current iteration.
You can see how OP Everfrost was because what happened to Ari, Lissandra, and Silas.
I love Lissandra.
I know, I do too, but none of those champs are played anymore because there's no more Everfrost. Wonder if the item was strong at all, guys.
Hey, we got the baby version of it. Protobelt. It'll do. Still strong on cannon.
Actually, you know what item I really miss is
What?
it was you built it on old Asol and you could run it. It was the someone called it the Super Squirter. That was the nickname, the GLP, where it shot out like the arrows that slowed. But then if you ran it with the item, then it would create the slow field that is now on the keystone that's in the bot lane that everyone takes to support. That I'm blanking on the name of, the Glacial Augment. So it used to apply on like slows for items, and then you ran that in Twin Shadows, and that was the most fun I've ever had playing Vigar. Because I just build those 2 items and then just cage everyone. It was so fun.
I was a Deathfire Grass person. That's the,
DFG was fun. Yeah,
I actually did an Alessandra. That's
way old school. Also,
that was very, very cheesy.
I still very much respect one-shot Lissandra. I think it's good. As Keel, he could burn his Q. He might get jumped on.
Cyclone's going to catch him. First knockup comes through, but here comes the teleport. It's Jenkins. He's joining in. Slicing Maelstrom goes down, only able to land onto 2. Tibbers falls. Now Jenkins on the retreat. Can be trying to get away. Here comes the next teleport. It's Faisal who's starting the battle, but so many low health bars for Supernova. Roamer's able to get one. Roamer's looking. He wants to hunt down Kenvi. Unable to get onto him just yet. Kenvi is able to swiggle and wiggle away. Now Faisal, Diamond, both of them onto Roamer. Faisal can't get close enough. A ninja flip is all that's really needed right now for Roamer to get to safety. Unless Faisal flashes forward. Kenvi's still within range. Sets his sights on to kill, will not take down Roamer. Crazy fight happening there in the back half.
A close fight, and honestly, I'm surprised how well that went for Supernova. I think it's really key. Diamond took exhaust this game, and that's so big into Kennen because this TP from Jenkins is right where you want to be as Kennen. You're in the middle of everyone, and then Diamond is just able to get the exhaust off, and it's not that big of a deal. Even though we're not all, this is an excellent start to the fight for TLC, but Roamer wasn't there to one-shot anyone. He does end up taking down Shochi, but Supernova surviving the initial start to that fight from TLC took a lot of the boom out of it, and Supernova was able to operate that fight pretty well. So I think TLC needs to continue to try and find some picks on the side lane, utilize the Sejuani Akali to, really make life hard for Annie in the side. I feel like they need to hunt Annie in the side lane because it looks like in the 5v5 right now, TLC are behind. Either that or take a 5v5 when there is no exhaust for Diamond, because Jenkins will do a lot of damage in that one.
But that's the problem right there, Cubby. Look at the timer on that exhaust. It's halfway through, so you don't get
spawning. TP's coming
much
in.
Time right now. Here we go. Teleports in the mid lane. Shochi arrives. Here comes Roamer as well. Faisal's not far off from Shochi, so can defend his mid laner. Faisal swings away. Able to take out about a quarter of the health of Roamer in the process. The rest of TLC waiting around the wings. TLC kill might look for an engage, but no, just waiting around that brush. It is a tough one right now. Supernova get priority on the river.
I think that this formation is much better for Supernova, and I think these fights are pretty hard for TL to play. Ooh. Jenkins, okay, never mind, here we go.
Shochi wanted to pop the spell shield. It's going to cost him his life. Hostile takeover comes out. Mid laner down for Supernova. He got a little bit too anxious to pop it.
That should have been free. I don't know. That's an early season woe there from Shochi.
Yup.
Dragon will be taken. Now Supernova, the race is on.
They're moving. Diamond will lead. He does have his ultimate available. There's a lot of health left on this Baron, so Supernova, they're going to be able to contest right now. Going in is going to be Faisal. 6k health remains. Faisal gets hit with the ultimate. Here comes Kenvi, able to throw down this Cyclone. Gets a knock up on the spawn, and here comes Supernova. They're destroying TLC. Jenkins and Roamer have no choice but to run away from the fury of Faisal once more as Supernova take the lead.
I mean, the Baron just wasn't fast enough, and yeah, TLC, this Baron slowed Jenkins and Roamer. You don't really do anything to Baron if you're Kennen or Akali. Supernova able to collapse, and I guess it was a bait all on for Shochi, because yeah, he might have fallen, but it was for Kennen all. That was enough. Supernova, Faisal ran that fight with Diamond and Kenvi, just knocking everyone down, and Supernova come up with everything.
Goodness gracious, what a fight coming out from Supernova. Down a man, it was all a ruse, Cubby.
Down a man, but they do have tools, and we're going to see this one. Kenvi has a really sound engage, forces the Callista ult immediately, and then Roamer, he just wasn't able to get on Array cleanly. Was forced to go out. Array popped the Featherstorm just in case. Roamer decided to go in and find the execute. Roamer knew that he had to get out of there. Really good opening to the fight from Kenvi. I love that his engage it was still a member of TLC that was tanking Baron out of that. I think that if you're able to engage in that angle, Baron does a lot of damage, does more damage this season than in past. And so that engage from Kenby Diamond, very sound, made that fight easy. And now Supernova, they're in full control.
Yeah, and on top of that, Spawn is struggling from the issues of Kalista just being short range. Kenby landed both Cyclones onto Spawn, and Spawn could not do anything in that last fight before the health bar was just straight up depleted. Now Supernova, they got the Baron buff. They're going to play towards the mid and bot lanes.
Oh, mid got pressure, creates enough space for bot inner to be taken. But TLC, they want to fight.
Jochi, here comes Kenby, able to throw down the Cyclone. Kill is right there. Watch for Roamer. Hostile takeover goes out. It's not going to land onto too much. Kenby's still alive. Here comes the slicing Maelstrom. Jenkins is able to take down two. Array is still up, able to cleanse out from the stun. Faisal's holding the line, but Array has no more front line available for him. Brought right back in by Kim Down and shut down by Spawn. TLC fight back.
Great fight from TLC. We saw the split from Supernova. They were playing for the bot inner, but TLC cut them off as they tried to link up. And that created a fight where Diamond, I didn't see the exhaust go down on the Jenkins. That slicing Maelstrom got huge work done. Array burned both sums to take out the cannon. And then after that, it was a 4v3, and there wasn't enough left in the tank for him to do anything else.
Jenkins slicing Maelstrom. Once he gets in there, it is complete havoc for Supernova to have to deal with. And as you said, that exhaust, it is not on cooldown. Wasn't used on Jenkins.
I mean, I kind of like the engage from Kenby. Like, he's trying to get to his team. It's in the middle. He's able to survive. Spawn is going the long way around. This is an okay scenario for Supernova. But Shochi gets one shot. Oh, he didn't get Tibbers down. He didn't get anything down. Shochi, he was taken down early. Yes, Array finds Jenkins in the back half, but Faisal was stuck. And then Kim Down, knowing that the Summoners were down from Array, able to flash in, follow up, take the kill. Love that from TLC. They are behind. They need to play aggressive. And honestly, they need to be careful about this next fight because Jenkins did burn his flash last fight. Diamond does have exhaust available this fight. And it's 115 till Cloud Dragon. That's going to be a much harder fight for TLC to win.
They're going to have a lot to lose for this one. As you said, 115 before that Dragon does come up, and look at the positioning coming out from Supernova. They're taking their recalls right now, resetting on the map. They have a lot of deep vision over in that bottom quadrant. Still TLC are fighting for it. You can see the control wards that were placed to still contest with some of that vision. But TLC, this is where the stress is going to be. Faisal still waiting, keeping that wave in the bottom. 50 seconds before Dragon.
Two in a highlight. Look at Array. He actually has a Maw picked up. That's how scared he is of both Jenkins and Rover. I gotta say, I think that's the right build for Array. This is the right call. I like that. But I think it just really demonstrates, you know, how much magic damage is. You teased in draft. There's a lot of magic damage on the TLC comp. It's gonna make things really efficient on the side of Supernova. So I really like that build. And again, I think Supernova very much set up for success here. Keep your eyes on Kenby and Diamond. If they're able to sync up, Rakan plus Wukong is a great combo for engaging. Kenby's going to be the one that pulls the trigger, and Diamond should immediately press R, follow up with an E, and then find the W with the rest.
This is definitely a Maw game. Faisal has one, building one's going to be Kenby. Really helps with that magic damage supplied by TLC. Now Supernova, first foot onto the river. They start the Dragon over on the top side. TLC have a route in. Faisal's looking for the flank.
TLC, they were forced to go through bot by Supernova, but Faisal is really trying to hold Jenkins back. But Jenkins is spotted right now. He doesn't have flash. Here we go.
Faisal onto Roamer. Tibbers comes down. Dragon's going to be secured. It's Dragon Soul for Supernova. Here comes the slicing Maelstrom back. Now it's going to be Jenkins. But here's Faisal. He's on that flank, and the Cyclone does so much work. Jenkins is going to go down, and the Rat will splat now. Kim Down slayed. Supernova will take down 3. Roamer heading for the hills, but Array, he spots you out, and the feathers will fly. Here comes the ultimate. Takes down Kill and says, thank you. I'll happily take that any day. Popped into the air as Roamer. Shut down Array. We'll find the ace.
Once the engage for TLC goes wayward, it's a good fight for Supernova, but Faisal, he was the one that actually pulled the trigger and made it happen. The wombo on the back half was massive. He was trying to hold the door in case Jenkins went around. Instead, he was the one that got the side angle on the TLC, blew up the back line with the rest of his team, and Supernova looking to find the reverse sweep against TLC. I gotta say, I think each team can take some positives out of this game. This has been the best look I have seen from TLC, even if they do drop this series so far this season. But man, hard-fought battle so far, and Supernova, I think some of the angles that they've had, and really how Kenvi and Diamond have worked together in the back half of this game to just make sure that these engages are clean have been really, really good to see.
And all the respect to Faisal, as you were just saying, he stayed in that point. He stayed in that flank for so long. He caught Roamer before Roamer could set up a flank, and he's just chasing people down. He's cutting TLC in half. He's such a threat right now, and TLC have to pay respects to that. TLC are setting up around the Baron pit for the time being. No hopes to really contest it immediately.
Wow. At the moment, as long as they see Jenkins, things are good. Kenvi flashes in. That was ambitious.
Yeah. Immediately stunned up in the process.
They wanted that fight then.
And now you're not going to have it. It's going to be the painful part because Supernova could just move straight over towards the Baron area. And again, they do have Dragon Soul, so that's one box checked off. Now looking for another with the team fight. Tibbers goes down, it's on to kill. Kenvi's holding it down with the clone. Out comes the slice and maelstrom. It's only on to Kenvi. It'll be a trade. Jungler for jungler. Now Faisal looking to back off. They want to take down Faisal before he can do too much. It's going to be a double kill coming out for Spawn. Spawn still looking for more. Jenkins as well. TLC are starting to do it. Spawn is uncontested. Spawn gets Shochi. Spawn after Diamond. Diamond's able to run away. It's a triple kill for Spawn. And TLC, they lose 3, but they'll trade up in the team fight.
I mean, Kenvi goes in on the tank. He goes in too deep. It's pretty much a trade of jungle for jungle, but Jenkins is the big key in this fight. Watch Jenkins flash onto Array later on. First off, yeah, Kenvi's a little bit low. He goes in, he finds the engage, they lock up kill, they take him down. That's 2 ultimates down for the jungler. Now, this is where things get a little bit feisty, because on the back half, it's just Faisal being isolated, and then watch this flash from Jenkins. He's able to get in. He stuns up Array because he applies the E, so Array can no longer auto-attack. That's all the time that they needed to make sure that he was locked down and taken down. And Spawn's free-firing during all this. So this is the one fight where, as you said, he's a little bit gated on range, but due to the chaos that TL were able to create, and really the focus to make sure that they got Faisal after he was split from his team, that's a big difference. And that's a fight that TLC at this point of the game probably should have won, but they made it happen.
The chaos, the pure chaos, Cubby. I mean, I saw Shochi in that last fight. Someone else there with the low health bars, he was going after that when the real threat was Spawn, who was beating away on him. And Spawn able to have a pretty good performance in that last one, sets him to 6-3-4. It's still a lead nonetheless coming out for Supernova. There was a half-hearted attempt to grab the Baron during that last little exchange. Unfortunately, Jenkins and Spawn didn't have enough health to see that to fruition. Now TLC, I think they're starting to feel the momentum. They're starting to feel the morale. They're starting to feel it, Cubby.
Dude, your bald head's got some superpowers, man. You are truly the genie. We wish for a competitive game 3. We've got it. As TLC, given that win.
Polish out this time, man.
Yeah, man, I respect it. I mean, if you guys stuck around for the game 7, you are getting a treat as 2 of our, I consider 2 of the stronger teams we have in Challengers really duking it out here. Faisal trying to find an angle onto Roamer.
Spotted kill.
That's good.
He kills on that ward. Faisal's on the opposite
it's
end.
already at half.
This is going down pretty fast right now.
It's gone.
Ooh, Kill's going to use the ultimate. Down comes Tibbers as well, but Baron's going to be secured on the side of Supernova. Now trying to block out Roamer from fighting is going to be Faisal. Swings away at Roamer. Ooh, Shuriken flip over the wall. He's still so critically low. Not going to be taken down just yet. But here comes Kenvi. Cyclone able to find the money. Roamer's down. So will Kill. And now it's just Lambs to the slaughter. Supernova. Clean ace. Clean Baron. It was a tough-fought win. But they will take the series 2-1.
I wasn't kidding when I said the TL probably should have won the last fight. Supernova, they got their heads together. They got a much cleaner engage. They punished some of the flashes being down from TL from the last one. And man, that's a hard-fought reverse sweep from Supernova. TL, that first game they played was the best game I've seen from them play so far this year in Challengers. I think this is still the best series I've seen from TL in Challengers. But Supernova, they were too much. That comp in the last game. Going back to stuff that we played last summer, ended up working out really well as the Annie, Wukong, Rakan engages, kind of holds everyone in place. Aatrox contributes to that too. Array had a lot of space to fight, and man, they were able to make it pay off. Really nice 2-1 for Supernova.
A very, very tough fought series. The polish on my head is really starting to shine out now as we went all the way to a game 3. But a congratulations to Supernova for taking it to Team Liquid and getting that series win. But we want to hear from Supernova, so we're going to take a moment to throw it over to short break. When we return, we'll have an interview with one of our winners. We'll be right back.
They said it couldn't be done. They said the world would never accept a cookie this long. Or a churro, and probably not a pretzel either. They also said, under no circumstances should those really long and delicious treats be wildly affordable. To which we said, but we already made them. And they are. Introducing the incredible new foot-long sidekicks. Get one at Subway today.
Welcome back, everyone, to LCS Challenge. Array from Supernova. How you doing, brother?
I'm good.
All right.
It's pretty chill. You know, it's a nice 2-1 reverse sweep there, Ray, against a LCS affiliate. How you feel? You got to be at least a little happy about that one.
Yeah, it's good. I feel like our team has like high expectations, so just like winning is like kind of expected.
Just chill, man. We're just chill. Now I want to ask, game number 1, brought out the Smolder. How was it, man?
I think Smolder's pretty strong, and I think it's really fun to play, so I'm glad I got to play it the first game.
What's your average time for getting the 225?
Like 22 minutes, I think.
22?
It's like pretty average.
Okay. Well, hey, I know that one didn't go your way, but you guys ended up finding the reverse sweep. Game threes, you know, with Fearless Draft, we kind of see bot lane get narrowed down a lot, given the priority of bot. You guys ended up reverting to some Xayah Rakan. Like, is this something where, like, you kind of, like, expect in Fearless Draft, just to, like, you're going to have really not choice, like, what you want later on in drafts? Like, is this something that happens a lot in scrims or practice, or, like, where's your head at in terms of, like, picking late as a marksman, where you don't have a ton of champs you can play in that role?
I mean, for Fearless, like, there's definitely, like, a tier list of ADs that are strong, but I think Diamond's been playing for a while, so he has, like, mastery on, like, pretty much all the champs, and he has, like, the pairings for all the champs, so we just, like, try a bunch of different combos and scrims, and then, like, he helps me if I need help with, like, understanding matchups, so it's pretty helpful.
Yeah, I actually want to follow up on that one, as I know being paired up with Diamond, like, you talked about the experience that he has. Diamond's been playing since Season 4 at a really high level. Are you tired of hearing him talk yet? Like, getting in your ear? Like, where are you at with Diamond kind of being in the team, and what kind of impact has he had on you as a player?
No, I mean, he does talk a lot, but I think it's pretty helpful. Like,
Oh yeah.
after, like, a bad game, like, we're listening to Discord, and then he tells me, like, to go down one channel, and then he just, like, looks at the lane, and then he's like, oh, like, what are you doing here? But it's, like, chill. I'm getting better, so I appreciate it.
Now, expanding that from just Diamond to the whole environment of Supernova, how have you been liking it playing with your teammates now that you've had some time, a couple of weeks, and so far a pretty good record?
I like it. I think we all get along pretty well, and then having people like Diamond and Kenvi are both pretty outspoken and also, like, very knowledgeable because I've been playing a while and at a high level, and that helps, I think, me and Shochi in particular. And then Faisal is also just really good top laner, so I think we're, like, finding our stride, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it. I had you guys ranked pretty high in the preseason. I got to say, you guys have been playing to my expectation, if not above. It's been really good to see. I want to give you the floor, Ray, if you got anything else you want to say in terms of thank yous or shout outs before we let you go in this early season.
Shout out my team, my girlfriend, my family. They all support me, and yeah, I hope we can keep playing well.
All right, well, Ray, we want to thank you for joining us and answering a few questions, and we wish you the best of luck on the rest of the season. Keep it coming, brother.
Nice 2-1, man.
Thank you.
All right, and off that note, that means we are pretty much done for the day, Cubby. How's it been? You got to do 3 series today? Was
I mean,
it easy?
this feels like Challengers from last year. I just got a bonus game, you know? It's like a tiebreaker day. No, honestly, it was fun. We had some speed runs early on, but that last series, honestly, like, thinking about it, was one of my favorites I've seen in Challengers so far this year. I felt like each team brought a decent level to play. That last game was close. TL won a couple fights that they should not have won. Later on, I like seeing them scale, as well as Supernova perform and come back from being down 1-0 after they got stomped in game 1. So I think there's a lot of good takeaways for both teams in that series, quite frankly.
Pulling up the standings right now, Supernova still keeping in contention with that last win. It's a rough life for TLC right now. Same thing with DSG and Mirage as they try and fight their way upwards. And keep in mind, like, we don't have that many weeks after this. Only 4 more weeks of play to improve your place in standings.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of wild to think, like, we're almost at the halfway mark here, Desrux. And also, I mean, TLC, they've played 5 games. Like, they're past the halfway mark. They only have only got 4 more opponents left. So sitting at 1-4 is definitely not where they want to be. I do think that their schedule was a little bit front loaded, so I expect to see them in the middle of the standings. And I don't think that this is a team that ends up, you know, being bottom 2 by the end of the year, especially if they end of the split, especially if they play how they did today. So I want to see them continue to scale along with Disguised, as these were 2 teams that we had higher expectations for than where they are in the standings, and I think that we need to see both of them make a little bit of a comeback.
And with that, that's going to do it for the day. I'm going to unbutton the top button now and just let things breathe. Be a little, there we go, dad on vacation.
That's not, I mean, I appreciate that, Desirux. And yeah, thanks for joining us, and happy Chinese
Lunar New Year.
Yeah, Lunar New Year. It's pretty cool. So
And of
I know
course,
that
say hello to Basil Leaf, as we'll be rating her next
Yeah.
on top of that. Go ahead, Cody.
I'm gonna try and be at the LCS tailgate tomorrow, if anyone's gonna be tuning in. So it should be fun. But no, thanks for joining me, Eric. I got two of my favorite baldcasters today. Sorry, Azale, but you know.
He's doing play-by-play now, so I have some competition.
There's a chance. There's a chance.
Yeah. We want to thank you all for joining us. A shout out to the players and, of course, the staff that work behind the scenes. Be sure to tune in tomorrow. We'll be on right after the LCS to continue more of the LCS Challengers League. We'll see you then, and have a good night.